Está
Thank you.
matando.
And you know what you want people to realize, that counts
Não tá
too.
Thank you,
mitado.
honey.
So
Era
your vote
mitado, só que
will
não.
be counted if you're able to mail it in. So those are a few things that I hope that we can do and mobilize, and
Eu
shout
não
to
achei no baixo
LeBron
estava falando.
and his team. Shout to you and everybody involved. We will
Aí
make
não
it
baixo
work.
nada dessa
Well,
história.
let's talk about more than a vote.
Eu não
There
me
is a
escolher
collective
você.
of athletes and artists coming together and saying voter suppression is a real deal, especially in the black community. When you just talked about, I gotta work, so I can't go vote.
Did
And
you
then when you
get
do
a
get in the group,
malaga muda? You gay? I don't think so, kiddo. You gay. Salva, let's see if you
about
was a
your
chat.
local elections. It's about the people who are your DAs, your
Have you
state
gay?
DAs, like the people who actually make change in your community, who will change police brutality, who will make sure that your community is taken care of, who will defund police and hope that they can help you in stopping police brutality. So talk to me about why you decided to be a part of More Than a Vote and what it actually means.
Well, it means a lot to be involved with
Stefan,
such
nasce
an
bloqueado
impressive
do chat, está
collective
mandando.
as you mentioned. And I said this multiple times, and I know it can be uncomfortable when I say it, but a lot of times we have to get to the root of the issue before we find a solution. And the quote was, I wish America loved black people as much as it loves black culture. And this collective, by the way, represents in a lot of ways what's encouraging, but also sometimes disappointing about our role as black people in America. Because we were brought here as labor and to entertain. And we use those vehicles to get paid and move to the suburbs and be idols of white kids. And so now that we have this collective, I would say sports and entertainment represent the most powerful group of black men in the United States. I'm talking about money, power, celebrity, the ability to mobilize, community involvement,
And freedom.
their leadership, their intellect.
The
And
freedom.
so to have all of us pulling in the same direction at the same time for anything that we're passionate about is going to be a difference maker, but it's definitely going to be a difference maker in the 2020 vote, because we're going to make sure we inform everybody that they can let their voice be heard, and failure is not an option.
Jalen, what does voter suppression look like to you?
A perfect example took place recently, Carrie, in Kentucky. It was 6 p.m. at night, and so many people were standing in line enthusiastic to vote. And you know what they did? Locked the doors. And you know what the people did? They continued to bang on the doors, continued to bang on the windows. They continued to let it be known they were not going to leave the premises until they got a chance to vote. And you know what ended up happening? They opened those doors and allowed those people to vote. So do not be discouraged. These barriers show you that it matters. And we're here to help you break through. The same thing with our platforms and voices, Carrie, because you know what's going to happen. At some point, Breonna Taylor is not going to be trending anymore. People are not going to be protesting anymore. But it's still up to us to keep making sure that our voices get heard, and this is one way to do so.
Right, and that is a form of being activated, being an activist. It doesn't have to be protesting. It doesn't have to look like what you think traditionally activism looks like. It's voting. It's that simple.
We now have to understand, like, this is a critical mass moment for this movement to continue to hold up as much steam for as long as possible. And that's what this collection is going to hopefully allow for that situation to happen.
Jalen, in today's age of technology, it should be easier to vote.
No doubt. It's like we call these devices smartphones, but yet I can't vote from it. All of the things that we do in our lives are in our phone. All of these barriers are things that people will need to overcome in order to create a level of enthusiasm to vote. And again, this is not political. It's your right to do so. And there's so many times where you feel like
Eravamo
somebody
di manando
may have
default
gotten done
remamo. On
unjustly in your
fiere
community.
pushton default
Pay attention to
kamoshi.
who the judges are, who's running for Senate, mayor, governor. Pay attention who's running for president. And let's make sure in 2020 we make a difference.
Why is more than a vote so important and invaluable in our community right now?
Well, because right now, I think we have an opportunity to let our voices be heard louder than ever. Anytime you see the mobilization of white kids holding Black Lives Matter signs, that means there's a breakthrough. Now, what happens with that breakthrough is the next step. You're going to look down in your email, Carrie. You're going to see all of these companies telling you how they're going to work on their diversity, how they're looking themselves in the mirror. They need to make change. Just like in sports, right? You look on the field, on the court, all those black players. The further you get up, it's like altitude or a ladder. It's thinner and thinner. And so,
So dit ki
a lot of people
stamata.
talk about the system being broken. I
Sì,
hate to remind
Stamata na
people it's
pida
not
ce le
broken, it was
compare
built this way.
solo.
And one of our
That's-
ways to help change the system is to vote. So that's why more than a vote is so very important. So we can make sure everybody participates and gives themselves an opportunity to let their voice be heard.
I think it's interesting because you talked about black men being very powerful in the U.S. if they're athletes and entertainers, because for so long those have been the only avenues traditionally to
Așa
create
că de
wealth.
la Vaiun default așa.
The NBA season comes back. What are your feelings on the season coming back in the midst of everything that is happening?
I think you'll see players challenging the establishment more. You're going to see them say, okay, if you have all of these marketing and promotional deals, how many of them are with minorities? How many people are you employing in NBA? What about certain teams? Who do you have as a minority owner? Or what about the candidates that you have for positions of power? NBA players have proven as blacks that they are now movers and shakers in the game. They're now the dog, not the tail. So if they decide not to play, some of the biggest social changes and conversations have taken place in sports that weren't during the game. Colin Kaepernick was before the game. The Ali Summit was a press conference. So they could mobilize if they chose to. But when if you do play, Black Lives Matter on the jerseys. Continue to make sure that every time people are watching the game, they're also seeing the movement happen.
Jalen, I appreciate you because you are always entertaining and informative at once. I really, truly am looking forward to the NBA season. Thank you for working with More Than a Vote because your voice, your platform, all of it is needed, my friend. Be safe, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I love and appreciate you. One call away all day.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Every conversation that we had today, I hope was helpful for you. I am so grateful to everyone who came on with me to talk about what's going on in our culture and how we need to change. Huge shout out to Jalen Rose, Bun B, Jason Hayward, Yvonne Orgy, and Russ. Their words were inspiring, but also important and invaluable. I hope your phone is full with all the information that we've been able to place in front of you. Again, you need to check out these resources because they are so important because we want you to vote. That is your voice. It is important. We, the people, want you to vote. So, go to morethanavote.org, fairfight.com, and when we all vote.org. Again, thank you so much for joining us and paying attention because this message, again, is invaluable. I'm Carrie Champion for We the People.
More than vote Julian oggi. Alucina che sei un po'. Tutto lì, non perché. Tutto lì. Λοιπόν, more than vote. Τι στον μπουρλο.
Τι να είσαι ρε, βάλω την κρίσταλ.
More
Δεν μου την έχω σαν φαλόν.
Vote.
Σκιάζουμε μέσα, ρε βάζει πράγμα.
More than a vote.
What?
Chance ρε, ήθελα να κάνω vote εγώ, ρε βέλε. Sign up for the same phone. Are you registered tomorrow to check your voter registration status now? You don't make change by sitting on the side. No.
Όσα βάζεις Μα λιβάλατε...
Έκαμα vote εγώ. Έκαμα vote.
Μα πού έκαματε vote ρε?
Στο site που είπε για τον ρατσισμό να βοηθήσουμε να κάνεις vote. Θα στο ρατσισμό να ας πούμε να μειώνεται.
Στα βαβάρια μου θέλουν τα.
Ναι, θέλουν τα. Σε νοιάζει να πηγαίνεις. Ναι, να κάνουν νοιάζεις. Αν δεν νοιάζεις σε κανέναν που γίνεται στον κόσμο, εσύ να είναι καλά. Αλλά αυτό είναι κανένα.
Nobody fucking knows!
Που είσαι μητσής δηλαδή έτσι. Πού να μεγαλώσεις να μάθεις για να μπορεί να μιλήσω.
Έρφανη, nobody fucking knows.
Ναι, που να... Μάλακα, τώρα τι γίνεται, ξέρεις να που γίνεται στον κόσμο, το ξανά ξέρεις.
Όχι.
Α, καλά.
Fortnite all day. I like Fortnite.
Δεν θέλεις να μάθεις ένα καλύτερα από να μάθεις.
Μάτε.
Όχι, απλά μόνο να έρχεται ο τρίτος παγκόσμιος πόλεμος επειδή κατεβήκαν κάτω τα στρατιωτικά πεδία. Μόνο ότι η Αγία Σοφία γίνηκε τζαμί από τους Τούρκους. Μόνο ότι ακόμα ο ρατσισμός γίνεται πιο μεγάλος. Μόνο ότι τα δάση καύκονται ακόμα. Μόνο το δεν είναι τίποτα. Μόνο απλά το στον κόσμο.
Κατάνε ζάρουμε με το chat shotgun.
Μάλακα, κατάλαβε μια φορά ότι μιλάμε για αληθινόν κόσμο. Μιλάς για αληθινόν κόσμο, με εσύ μιλάς μόνο για Fortnite. Μιλάς ότι γίνεται τώρα, μπορεί να είναι το τέλος του κόσμου. Μπορεί να είναι το τέλος του κόσμου, ας πούμε. Πού ξέρεις, μπορεί. Τις μιλάς μόνο για Fortnite ακόμα.
Ναι, στην Αθήνα έβλεπα news κάθε μέρα.
Ναι, στην Αθήνα, άμα ήσουν με τον κόσμο.
Sorry, όσα τα παπάρια μου θέλεις, τα παπάρια μου θέλεις, τα παπάρια μου θέλεις.
Να παίξεις με τον μάτσος του.
Ναι. Όχι.
Α, wow, τα έδωσε έτσι. Τα έδωσε έτσι.
Δεν ξέρω.
Με ποιον
Γιατί
παίζεις?
πήγαμε... Στο τέτοιο γιατί πήγαμε... Ας είμαι. Even game chat ρε. Λίγα ρε. Τι λάλλεις. Fuck you kids, fuck you. Ευκάγαμε την αυκή ρε. Εντάξει ρε, τσίλα ρε. Και πώς με έκαμε κάτι τέτοια ρε παϊκιά. Σκόσαν 3 άτομα πάπου.
Ναι.
Και μετά πέθανε.
Τι λάλλεις. Σοβαρά.
Ναι, τι λάλλεις, δεν έχει τι λάλλω. Ήταν μητσίες.
Δεν συμφίσεις.
Ναι, ναι. Τι? Να έρθω μαζί σας.
Ποιο? Change up here.
Και πέθανε. Και πέθανε κι άλλος, μετά πέθανε κι άλλος. Πέθαναν όλοι μετά.
I have to say I'm proud. Το σχόλιο κοίτα δεν είναι γκέι.
Πανικάζεις με.
Τι έκαμα.
Να σου δείξω κάτι, ένα skin.
Μηδέ. Wow, crystal.
Τι crystal. Πού είσαι εσύ ρε.
Scarlet Commander, wow.
Πάμε σενάρια, δεν πάμε.
Μαλάκα. Με την crystal μπόρεσε το σενάριο. Δεν μπορεί να πει μια λέξη. Crystal. The scenario there. Shit.
Δεν λένε.
Να χορέψω τζαφόρο ή να χορέψω Billy Bounce. Δεν έχω κουμπί για να χορέψω. Θα τροβαλώ το άλλο στα αρχίδια μου. Panic freak. Εγώ να έχω κουμπί για να χορέψω.
At least I have to say,
Σπάσα το ρε, πάνε το κουμπί μου για να χορέψω.
όχι το emote. Το λένε και να χορεύω βάσο στο πλάι.
Thomas.
Fucking dumbass.
Πέσε κάτω ρε, πέσε κάτω, I dare you,
Why the fuck?
I dare you, bro.
Why the fuck?
I dare.
Nobody loves me!
Because you're ugly.
No, you're ugly.
You ugly.
No, you ugly.
Δέτε με
Δεν
εμένα.
έχω twist ρε.
Panic, δέτε με. Ο λευκόφυλλος. Δέτε με.
Εμείς δεν είμαστε εκείνοι που κάνουμε τα κοντάρφου μας και παίζουμε μαζί του. Κάθε μέρα και ποιος ένα παίξει. Ρε κάμου skybase μισή. Μέσα πάει πολύ μας, όχι. Είναι season 1 ρε. Είναι season 1 ρε παιδά. Είναι season 1. Γεια σας. Κάμου skybase.
Άντε ρε, λιβάδες.